All right, good morning, everyone. We are here to welcome the class of 2024 to Papillion-La Vista South High School. Each year, it's one of our favorite days in May. We spend one day at Liberty Middle School, and we spend one day at Papillion Middle School, and we bring our current ninth graders down, and we spend the whole day in classrooms, and we give them a little bit of general information about Papio South. And then we let our eighth graders ask our current ninth graders questions about high school. And it's a great day where our eighth graders get a good sense of what high school is going to be like for them. They get a lot of their questions answered, and we're able to ease some of the stresses and anxieties that you face when you transition to a new high school. We're not able to do that face-to-face this year, unfortunately. So we are going to have to do that in a virtual setting, but we're going to make the best of it. We have a great group of students here. These students were recommended by their current teachers. They are fantastic Titans. They're really a great example of what being a Titan is all about. So we're really excited to have you hear from them. They're the main part of the show this morning. But before we get to the Q&A with our students and get a bunch of your questions answered, I want to start off with some introductions. So I want to introduce everybody that we have joining us here this morning. And then I'm going to give you some general information about Papillion-La Vista South High School. And then after that, we'll get to the main feature, which is getting those questions answered. So I'll go ahead and introduce myself first. My name is Jeff Spilker. I am going to be the principal here at Papillion-La Vista South High School next year. I'm transitioning from an assistant principal. I also taught math here for 10 years prior to becoming assistant principal. As an assistant principal, I worked specifically with our ninth graders for 4 of the 5 years that I spent as assistant principal. So I have a general expertise in that area. So I'll be leading our session here this morning. And I guess the key message I want to send to the class of 2024 is that the future is really bright here at Papio South. We are incredibly excited to have you. I kind of compare it to like Disney. My family, we went to Disney about 3 years ago, and we were on YouTube looking at all the rides before we went. And I was just so excited for my kids because I knew they were going to have an unbelievable experience when we visited Disneyland. And I know we're not Disneyland with rides here at Papio South. We haven't put any of those in. We might down the road. Miss Prussia would love to add a roller coaster to the freshman wing, but that was not in the bond issue. But we're excited for you because we know great things await you. Just like my kids were excited for the Disney experience. I hope you're excited for the Papio South experience because we are going to have an amazing, amazing facility. And not only are we going to have a great facility, but you're going to work with some great people. And some of those people you're going to meet here this morning. So we are incredibly excited to have you join us here at Papio South. I'm going to kick it over to our freshman principal next year, and the principal that you will be working with at the freshman level is Mrs. Jessica Prussia. So I'll let Ms. Prussia introduce herself.
Hello, I am Mrs. Prussia. This is actually my first year here at Papillion-La Vista South. This year I worked primarily with the freshman team sticks and then also the 10th graders. Like Mr. Spilker said, I will be transitioning next year over to the freshman principal. I am super excited. I have went and kind of scoped out that freshman wing, and it is going to be something truly special for you guys, and you guys will be the first class that will get to experience it. So super excited for that. A little bit about myself. Previously, before being an assistant principal here at Papio South, I was a dean of students over at Bellevue West for 5 years. Also at Bellevue West, I taught English. And then my first teaching job was at my alma mater, Omaha Bryan. As you see behind me, I've got 2 Rugrats. They are twins, and you will probably often find them running around the halls at Papio South at all kinds of fun events. So I'm super excited to meet each and every one of you. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me, Mr. Spilker or Miss Segu at any time if you guys have any questions. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Miss Segu, the 9th to South.
Hi, I'm Miss Segu, and I'm your 9th grade counselor. And I have to let you know, I've been working on your schedules really hard lately. So I'm really excited to meet you guys, get you everything settled for your classes. Just to let you know a little bit about myself, I've been in the district for quite some time. I was a math teacher at La Vista Middle School for a while. and then a counselor for 4 years at Papillion Middle School. And then we moved out to Colorado, and I had my twins. I have boy-girl twins who are actually finishing their freshman year at UNO. So they're around. They've actually taught me a lot about life and also about teenagers. So I really, really like seeing them. I'm glad they're here at UNO so I can see them. And so I opened the building. So I've been around for a long time, but I've worked with freshmen probably the majority of the time. I love freshmen. They're my favorite. So I'm really excited to work with you and be there for you. I work kind of through the summer, so you can always send an email to me if you ever have any questions. But I'm just really excited to have you. It will be a great time. Take some risks and meet new people. I know you're coming from similar schools, but just put yourself out there and try new things. Maybe you'll find something that you really like here at Papillion South. Who would you like me to pass it to? Mr.
Let's go meet our assistant principals. Let's start with Mr. Van Akkeren, our activities director.
Thank you. Welcome. Hi, Miss Settles down there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Well, this is my 7th year as an administrator here at Papillion South. 14 years in the district. I was at Papillion Middle School as a math teacher and assistant principal there, and then transitioned over here 7 years ago. So before that, I was at 2 other places, Lee, Nebraska, and Norfolk Senior High School. So this is my 26th year in education and moving to 27 years next year. I've got 3 kids that are older, boy 22 and 2 girls 19 and 17. So our house right now is a little bit full, a little crowded, and we're hoping that we can get rid of our 22-year-old sooner than later. But that's been a slow process. Anyway, great school, tremendous kids, tremendous teachers, great team. The admin team's been great to work with and been a lot of fun. And as I reiterate when Mr. Spilker said, we have a lot of changes that are happening structure-wise. And so when you guys arrive in August, you'll see a different place completely, much bigger, a lot of different spaces here. And I think the freshman wing will be something that's pretty special to our incoming 9th graders and something that really is your own. And Miss Prussia will do a great job of leading you in that area. So, and Miss Sagu as well. Those 2 are great ladies and won't stray you in a wrong direction for sure. They're there to help you. So I'm kind of secluded. My office is by the gym. So when I ask people where the activities office is at, they really have no idea. And so if you ever see me and you want to know where it's at, I'll lead you there so you can remember where it's at. There are some things you'll have to take care of in that office if you're involved in activities. So don't be shy, come around. My secretary, Becky Medic, who also has an incoming freshman daughter, is a great help and is very great to work with. So I will have an assistant. He's not on here, but Mr. Peñas will be my assistant and also teach some business classes. So he's a great help as well. He was here previous, left, went to a different school, and realized that he missed this place quite a bit. So now he's coming back and we'll take over for Mr. Gehring. Mr. Gehring took over for him. So it will be a very smooth transition. But if you ever have any questions, please ask. Again, I'll help you find my office. And if you can't find it, somebody will lead you there and get you to my space, and I can help you out as much as I can. So again, welcome. And I hope you enjoy the 4 years that you're going to have. I think these freshmen that are on here now would tell you this is a great place, and people treat you pretty well, and really don't have a lot of issues. I think the one thing that around here is that you'll see that our teachers like to have a lot of fun. They get along very well with each other, and which makes for a great culture and great climate. So welcome.
Let's kick it to our 2 assistant principals, Mr. Grell, Mr. Gehring. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Mr. Grell, you want to lead us?
Sure. My name is Brett Grell. Welcome, Titans. We're excited to have you come join us in August. I have been in education. I'm going on my 21st year. I started out in Philadelphia and then came to Papio South and was an English teacher before moving into administration about 10 years ago. So I have worked most of those, all but one of those years, with 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. But this last year, I had the joy and the privilege to work with part of our freshman class, and I got to tell you, it was a wonderful experience. And the amount of support that you're going to get in the community that we put together for our ninth graders to bring them in and help them get a good start in high school is just fantastic. So I will not be working with you specifically next year, but I'm always around to help. My office is going to be on the first floor in the main office area. So stop by if I can help with anything, or certainly stop me in the hallways, and I'll be sure to say hi to you as well. But you are joining a fantastic school, and I can't tell you how excited we are to have you join us next fall. Mr. Gehring?
Hello, my name is Brent Gehring, and this is my third year at Papillion-La Vista South. The past 3 years, I've been an assistant activities director with Mr. Van Akron and a business teacher as well. My history in education, this was my 16th year in education. Most of it spent as a business teacher at Bellevue East High School. So I spent a lot of time as a chieftain coaching basketball and doing DECA. This next year, I'm transitioning into an assistant principal role, and we'll be working with some sophomores. Hopefully we have some good ones, right? So I'll be working with the sophomores and getting to know them and helping them transition from the freshman teams to life as a high school sophomore. So I look forward to the opportunity. I look forward to getting to know the sophomore class and you guys next year or the year after that. So I have 3 kids, Aiden, Easton, and Emma, and we live here in Papillion. Our kids go to Walnut Creek, and we've lived here in Papillion for about, 10 plus years. So we've been here for a while. So while I'm new-ish to the school, I've been around for a long time. So I can't wait to get to see you guys and know you guys. Welcome.
Thanks, Mr. Gehring. I'll let Mr. Grell, Mr. Gehring, and Mr. Van Akron hop off the Zoom. They have some other duties to take care of this morning, but I wanted to make sure we introduced them. They're part of our leadership here at the school. They're a very important part. They do an outstanding job. So thanks to those 3 gentlemen, and we hope they have a great Friday. All right, let's meet our Titan students. Let's have you guys introduce yourselves. We have members of each of our 4 teams here this morning. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves, and on top of that, let's have you add in your favorite thing from 9th grade and what activities you were involved in. So introduce yourself, your favorite part of your shortened 9th grade year. We only got to spend 3 quarters face-to-face. And then what activities were you involved in here at Papillion-La Vista South High School, your first year? So Caitlin, do you want to start us off?
Hi, I'm Caitlin Gansky. I was on Team Atlas. My favorite part of 9th grade year was just all the friends I made and all the people I got to meet. I wasn't involved in any activities at the school, but I'm really excited to be involved in different clubs next year.
Awesome. Paxton, you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Paxton Peterson. I was on Team Sticks with Miss Prussia, and my favorite part of my freshman year was probably building new relationships with new people, and I was involved in football, show choir, HOSA, and student council.
Awesome. Thanks, Paxton. Zach, let's hear from you.
Hi, I'm Zach Nilsson, and my favorite part of 9th grade was probably also just meeting new people. With the 2 middle schools combining, it was really nice just to get familiar with new faces. And last year I was involved in show choir and student council.
Awesome. All right, Gracie, what do you got for us?
My name's Gracie Anthony. I was actually on Team Prometheus, but I misplaced my shirt. So I think my favorite thing about my freshman year was getting to meet new people. That is something I love a lot, and I've been in this school district for almost 3 years now, and I'm used to moving around a lot. So meeting the Liberty kids was really fun. I was involved with student council, show choir, Skills USA, Club Unified, would have sort of tennis would have been. And yeah, I think that's all.
Awesome. Thanks, Gracie. Let's jump to you, Hallie, last but not least.
Hi, I'm Hallie Settles. I was on Team Cronus, and my favorite part about my 9th grade year was definitely all my teachers and all the team competitions. That was definitely one of my favorite parts. And I was involved in show choir. I would have been involved in soccer, unified sports, and yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and yeah, that's it. I'm good.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Hallie. I'm going to jump into some general high school information here with myself and Miss Prussia. We're gonna just talk about some basics that you can expect as an incoming 9th grader. And then after we get through those, we're going to go through the questions that we had submitted through our online email. So I'm going to jump to share screen here, and I am going to share our PowerPoint with you. So this is the PowerPoint that we would have used to present to you face-to-face in the classroom that gives you some general information about coming to Papillion-La Vista South High School. So for the class of 2024, we wanted to start off and we wanted to share just some basics that you can expect when it comes to summer. And our summer is going to look a little bit different this year for a number of reasons. Obviously, one reason is the coronavirus, and then the other reason is the fact that we are under heavy construction here at Papillion-La Vista South High School. So when we talk about your summer traditionally, we're talking about opportunities for involvement. There won't be as many opportunities this summer for involvement for those reasons that we just discussed. So the main priority that I want to emphasize with you here this summer is take care of yourself and your family. That's the top priority. As we go through the summer months where we're still dealing with some social distancing and some different scenarios with the virus, that's our main priority. Take care of yourself and your family as we go through the summer months. We have 9 different projects going on here at Papillion-La Vista South High School. One of them is our new parking lot. We have construction going on all 4 corners of the building. The first floor is getting all new carpet. It's just heavy construction here at Papillion-La Vista South High School. So that causes us to not have our campus open in some of the traditional ways that it would, along with, as we talked about, with the virus. So this summer you can expect some athletic strength and conditioning to occur in groups of 10 or less, and we'll be getting some information out about that. That's going to start in June. There may be some other extracurricular opportunities available on the fine arts side of the building. Nothing will be mandatory for students this summer, but there will be a few opportunities that are available for some small group gathering. That's the information that the governor had just put out for starting June 1st. So we're looking at how we can do that in a safe manner on our campus. So pay attention to your email, follow us on social media as we'll talk about, and just look for updates on some things that will be ongoing here in the summer. This is going to be a big disappointment, but there is not going to be summer reading for our students this summer. We have canceled summer reading for a number of reasons. The number one reason is we want you to take care of yourself and your family as your top priority and not have to worry about academic stresses this summer. So there will not be any summer reading, but just understand that reading is so important. It's such an important skill that I really recommend that you find something that you would enjoy and read it this summer. So you're not reading because you have to, you're reading because you get to. Ms. Segu, Ms. Prussia, anything else you want to add in to what to expect over the summer?
Reading books, reading magazines, just something is good. So we will have information going out after the 4th of July. So if you get anything or your parents get anything from the high school, go ahead and open it up and read it, because A lot of our answers, we don't have answers right now, but that information will have more concrete answers on what's going to be coming up in August with fall check-in, first half day of school, all of that. So be looking for that.
And while we won't have organized activities going this summer and some of the traditional ways that we normally have, we're going to be here. So if you need anything this summer, Ms. Segu, myself, and Ms. Prusha will be available for assistance. So if you need anything, please let us know. A look ahead at next year. So next year, fall check-in is planned for August 3rd and 4th. On Monday, August 10th, this is not a time that is set in stone yet, but we did want to give you guys an opportunity to come in the building before that first day of school on the 11th and take a tour and kind of have an opening celebration of some of the new areas. So be keeping an eye out for that. But we also, we want to get you guys in the building before that first day of school. Finding your way around can be challenging, and it can create some stress and some anxiety. So on August 3rd and 4th at fall check-in, we're going to give you your schedules. So then you have some time there to get in the building and find your way around, locate your classes, and have a general understanding of where you're going before we start with that first half day of school on the 11th and the first full day of school on the 12th. Keep in mind, in high school on Wednesdays, we start at 8:20 a.m. We still plan to have Street Fest on Friday, August 14th. That's kind of our student council kickoff outdoor dance. And we bring a taco truck and a bounce house, and Miss Prusha breaks some moves off. She's the best dancer on the administrative team. My moves, they fit best in the 1990s. They're not really too cool, so I keep them to myself. We're gonna do open house on the 18th. Our first football game is August 28th. Our homecoming game is September 11th, with our dance on September the 12th. And then, as you can see, we have parent-teacher conferences in October. Final exams will take place at the end of the first semester, the last 3 days. Then we'll have our spring parent-teacher conferences. We have spring break, we got prom, graduation, and before you know it, your freshman year will conclude on Friday, May 21st, with 3 days of final exams. So that's just a quick overview of some of the key dates of the 2020-2021 school year. All right, Ms. Prusha, do you want to talk a little bit about the freshman wing? This is that addition that's going on in the front of the school, and it's an amazing, amazing, amazing addition. Every time I have the opportunity to look in there, I get really, 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 really excited. So Ms. Prusha, why don't you talk a little bit about the freshman wing?
Like Mr. Spilker said, starting next year, you guys will be the first class ever to be in our freshman wing. Sorry, my hands are a little full this morning. And we've got the opportunity to walk through it a few different times. And I have to tell you guys, it is awesome. So what the freshman wing looks like is that the 4 teams will each have kind of like their own little area of that. Oh, perfect. Of the freshman wing. So we are organized in teams. So 2 teams will be downstairs. All core areas will be kind of organized within those teams, and then 2 other teams will be upstairs. In between each team of rooms, we actually have what's called these collaborative zones, and it's a wide open space where we're going to go ahead and furnish with some tables, chairs, cafe seating, and that'll be a nice space for classes to use if they wanted to split up, if we want to do some group work, if we have an activity going on. So it's going to be some really fun collaborative spaces. My office will be downstairs, and then Miss Segu's office will be upstairs. So if you guys ever need to find us, that's kind of where our central locations will be. I actually plan on just kind of being all over because I am so excited to be a part of this freshman wing. You'll find me on my rolling cart. I'll probably have a little wireless Bluetooth speaker with me, and I'll be playing some jams. So current freshmen, if you guys ever want to rock out, you're more than welcome to come back and say hi.
She likes to listen to a lot of Celine Dion and Meatloaf, so look up those 2.
Okay, that is not true.
Let's continue on. I mean,
Ms. Segu, anything else that you wanted to add?
anything you want to add with freshman wing, Ms. Segu?
No, just so excited. I haven't been up there for a while, but it's going to be really neat, guys. It'll be really fun.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. A lot of people with construction, they're like, is it going to be done? And yes, the freshman wing will be done. They're going to turn it over to our staff here at the school right around July 1st. So that area is going to be open and fully ready to go to start your very first day of high school, which is incredibly exciting. We're going to also add a PE classroom. So this is what you see on the back. If you know your directions, this would be on the southeast corner. This is our PE classroom. This is under construction. We're hoping to have it open sometime between Thanksgiving and January 1st of next year. So this would be another area that it won't be open when you first come to school, but it is something that they're moving very fast and they're actually ahead of schedule on. And they're going to open this up hopefully for second semester. This is a PE classroom. This is our old weight room right here. That's our current weight room. And then here is our new PE classroom, which is going to have a new weight area along with a turf area that could be used not only for PE classrooms, but it also could be used for ROTC. Our cheer and dance teams could use this area. Our band and color guard, when they're looking for some extra space, could use this area. And then we have some cardio equipment here too that could be used for PE classes. So we're really excited about this new PE classroom, and we do believe that it will be open for the second semester. This is the STEM expansion and the testing room that you would see from Highway 370. If you're driving along Highway 370, this sits on the northeast corner of our building, and this is an area that will be open for the beginning of school year. They're working really hard on this area, and this area could be used for some fine arts overflow. As you heard from our panel, a lot of them are involved in show choir and things like that with band. Our fine arts is amazing here at Papio South. We absolutely love it, and it's growing and growing and growing. So this testing room will be a flexible learning classroom that will actually also provide some overflow space for some of our fine arts. So it's going to be really cool to have some extra space down there. And then in addition to that, we have our STEM expansion that's going to be really awesome for our skilled and technical trades classes. There's going to be some awesome opportunities for some hands-on experience in those classes. So this is the area on the northeast side of the building, and it is open on August 11th and ready to go for students. So we're incredibly excited about that addition also. That's what it looks like from the inside. And then we also have a cafeteria addition. Our cafeteria addition, we're bumping out the cafeteria and we're expanding that space. And that cafeteria addition is an addition that they're ahead of schedule on. And we hope to, excuse me, we hope to have open also for second semester. All right. The first interaction that we will have with you guys is going to be on August 3rd and 4th at fall check-in. That's the plan as of now. And if we need to change that based on some of the guidelines that we get from the health department and that we get from our governor, we will do that. If we need to add some safety restrictions to that time, we will definitely do that. But the plan as of now is to have fall check-in on August 3rd and 4th. So this will be kind of the beginning of the school year for you. This day and time is based on your grade. Ninth graders go in the morning. We have the first half of the alphabet come on August 3rd, and then the second half of the alphabet come on August 4th. There's 7 stations. These stations have things like getting your picture taken. So you got to really make sure you're ready to have a good smile that day. You have the opportunity to deposit lunch money into your account. You're going to sign for your student handbook, update your technology passwords for the year. You can purchase an activity ticket. So all of that basic fall check-in information will happen on August 3rd and 4th. And probably the biggest highlight of this, Ms. Segu, is they get their schedule. So those schedules that Ms. Segu's worked so hard on, that's their first time to get your schedule.
If I may make a suggestion on that, when you get your schedule, go ahead and take that schedule and find your classes, maybe practice going from class to class, just so you kind of get familiar with it. I've had some people that maybe get their information in the morning, but they want to come back in the afternoon, even though they've already checked in. They actually walk around the building and just kind of get more comfortable with it. For sure, do that. We'll have a lot of students, ambassadors, student council, I think usually helps, Skills USA. A lot of people are around to help you find your places. So that's a great, great opportunity to get up to the school.
On your schedule, you'll also have your locker. So you'll be able to get to your locker and try your locker and see how that works for you. You will have a locker partner that you will be assigned. So that's another opportunity to locate your locker. Your locker will be in the freshman wing. Your core classes will be in the freshman wing. So that's 4 of your classes, but and we'll talk about this in a little bit, you'll have 7 classes. Your other 3 classes will take place in other areas of the school, which will be important to locate. The first day of school, August 11th. This is going to be an exciting, exciting day. I know I will wake up. I will be so ready to get you guys here and learning. This is going to be a half day. We get done at noon. If you get to school before 7:45 a.m., which you're totally more than welcome to, the freshmen always wait in the Titan cafeteria. So if you get there early, which we hope you do, you can wait in the cafeteria before school. I know at Liberty and at Papillion Middle School, I think the traditional spot before school was the gym. The traditional spot at Papio South before school is the cafeteria. The bell then rings each day at 7:45, and you have 15 minutes to get to your first class. On the first day of school, though, when the bell rings, we're going to go ahead and transition to the Titan Theater. So the first day of school, it's just a orientation day. So you just need to bring something to write with. Make sure you have your schedule. We have planner there, but we're not having planners this year. You will want to bring your lunch or lunch money because we do practice lunch on the first day of school. So you'll visit all of your classes for 10 minutes. We'll have an activity fair so you can see all of the activities that are available. And then school will release at noon that day. And we'll send you home. And then the following day, we go with a full day of school on Wednesday. So Tuesday is your first half day of school. If you're unable to attend fall check-in, Ms. Segu, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, if you're unable to attend fall check-in on the 3rd or the 4th, during this orientation at the very beginning when we do the welcome, if you have not gone through fall check-in, I'll say, hold on, stay seated. And then I will personally take you through that process and teachers know that you may be a little bit late, but it's really important that we have that process that you go through and get your picture taken and all of that. So we'll give you directions. Just if you don't go through fall check-in, don't have your schedule, stay seated and we'll take care of you from there. Can I say one thing about lunch during that first half day of school, Mr.
Yeah,
Scope?
go for it, Ms. Segu.
You know, one thing that I've run into, that first half day of school for freshmen, every freshman is going to be eating together during that half-hour lunch. When we get into our classes on Wednesday and then on out, we will have half the students that will be eating 3rd block and then half 4th block. So if you make a friend and you're like, oh, and then they're not in your lunch the next day, don't freak out. Just know whoever's in your 5th hour class, whoever's in your advisory, if you notice someone, you might say, hey, you want to sit at lunch together, okay? I had people in tears because, oh, my best friends had lunch with me on the first half day and now they don't. So just be open to making new friends and it will be okay. It will be okay. Thank you for letting me say that.
And I would add in with lunch, just 2 things to get on your radar. You'll hear this many times from us, but number 1 rule of the cafeteria, no one eats alone. We are going to have a lot of students coming from Papillion Middle School. We're going to have a lot of students coming from Liberty Middle School, but then we're also going to have some students that are new move-ins. We're going to have some students coming from private school or possibly homeschool. So just keep in mind, and when I think of our panel today, these are the students that have lived this, But if and they're the type of students that if they saw someone sitting alone, they'd go over to them and say, hey, you want to come eat with us? Even if that student maybe doesn't have the appearance that makes them look like they might be your best friend. Just always have that mindset of no one eats alone, and always be looking to reach out and help somebody in this transition to high school. And then the other thing is leave it better than you found it. Paul and Ollie are two amazing custodians. Always make sure that anytime we're in that cafeteria after we eat lunch, leave it better than you found it. So any trash, whether it's yours or not, gets picked up and thrown away. We have an unbelievable facility. We want to keep it that way. All right, you're going to be assigned to one of 4 teams next year. Next year, you're either going to be on Atlas, Cronus, Prometheus, or Styx. I worked with Team Atlas this year, so that's my favorite team. If you ask Miss Prusha, she's going to go with Styx. If you ask Gracie, she'd be a big Prometheus fan. I mean, it all just depends. They're all great teams. Cronus has some amazing teachers. I mean, they're all really, really good teams. I can't say enough good things about our team. So you'll be on teams next year. So for math, English, science, social studies, your 4 core classes, they will be teamed. If you're not on the same team as a friend, you'll still see them at lunch. You'll still see them in some of your elective classes. But you'll be on the same team for your 4 core classes. So if you're not on the same team as your friend, don't stress. You'll still see them around. It's just going to be simply teamed for those 4 core classes. So Atlas, Prometheus, Styx, and Cronus. Ms. Prusha, do you remember the locations? I'm trying to think. I think Atlas and Styx.
Atlas and Styx are upstairs, and then Prometheus and Cronus will be downstairs.
Downstairs, yep. So those are the locations in the freshman wing. Your schedule changes a little bit. Right now you're doing 8 courses at your middle schools. Next year you're going to do 7 classes. On Wednesdays we have a late start, so every Wednesday starts at 8:20 a.m. There's 7 class periods, 50 minutes each, and then our Titan time, which is similar to Eagle's Nest or the Titan time you had at Papillion Middle School, we fit that in during 5th period. So Titan time, your daily advisory session, happens during 5th hour. We said this earlier, but connect with us on social media. We have a strong social media presence, and one way to get connected with the high school before you even step foot in here for your first day is through our social media. So parents, students, we encourage you to follow us on Facebook. We're really active. We put a ton of information out on Facebook. We put a ton of information out on Twitter. So if you have Twitter, give us a follow, or even if you don't have Twitter, you can use that web address there to visit our webpage. Our activities department, they have a Twitter account. Our school's got the Twitter account, but follow us on Twitter. And then last but not least, we are all over Instagram. So follow us on Instagram if you have that social media platform. We put some really cool content out on all 3. So get connected with our school. Follow us on those social media platforms. Ms. Ague, do you want to talk a little bit about graduation? It's so important. That's our end goal.
Absolutely. Hopefully you will know this like front and back by the time you graduate. But you need 45 credits to graduate. And the way you earn a credit is for every semester class that you pass, you will earn 1 credit. So let's say you have a study hall every semester of your high school career. You will get 12 credits, 6 and 6 the first year, and that's basically 12. You do that over 4 years, you'll end up having 48 credits. So if you need a study hall to do well in your classes, absolutely take a study hall and use it, of course. But let's say you don't want a study hall or you don't need one after your freshman year, like, I don't think I need it, then that's fine. You'll still graduate with some extra credits. To go through the specific credits that you need 8 semesters of English. So what that means is every year, every semester of your high school career, you're going to be taking an English class. So that's really important that you make sure you get all those. 3 years of math, which is 6 semesters of math. Many of you are going to be going on to college, so chances are you'll be taking a 4th year of math. That's kind of recommended if you plan to go to college. But the minimum graduation requirement for science is 6 semesters, which is equal to 3 years. And you see the classes, biology, physics. This is a little bit different, physics, physical science. Those are the ones that you need. And you need 6 semesters of social studies. This year, you're going to be taking U.S. history and then go into World Civ and U.S. government your junior year. If I were to look at those core classes, every class that you're taking this year, core class-wise, you need to graduate. So that's why it's so important to start off the year really well, put your effort in, connect with your teachers. To look at the other classes that you need 3 semesters of PE, which is basically a year and a half, and then you'll fill out the 45 credits with 16 credits or 16 electives. If you want to go to college, you want to make sure that you have all of these requirements because we match up with the college admissions quite well. The only other subject that you might need for college, but you don't need for graduation, is a world language. You'll need 2 years of the same world language. So if you are not in Spanish, it's okay, or French or German, you can always take it your sophomore, junior, or junior, senior year. Many of you have taken Spanish 1 and you're moving on to Spanish 2. Please know that Spanish 1 won't go on your transcript because none of our 8th grade classes go on our transcripts. But when colleges look at and see you took Spanish 2 at 9th grade, they'll be like, oh, and they did what? Yeah, they had that in junior high. I know Papillion-La Vista South doesn't put that on the transcripts. You will be done with your 2 years of college admissions for the 2 years of the world language. So you'll be fine. Some people love it and want to go all 4 years, and that's totally cool. So hopefully you'll learn these credits so you just know on the top of your head what you need to graduate. We don't want any surprises come May.
And I always tell students, when it comes to graduation, just remember Michael Jordan. And then I ask them, what number did Michael Jordan wear? And they say 23. And I'm like, nope, I want you to think of Michael Jordan when he came back from baseball, which was the number 45. So 45 is the key number for graduation. So a little shout out to Michael Jordan. He's kind of popular right now with his TV show going on. So let's jump to the next part, which is our 10 Titan habits for academic success. And the key things I just want to emphasize here: to be successful in class, or to be successful in high school. And our panel has lived this, but you got to be there. You got to pay attention. You got to ask questions, be kind, take great notes, do your work, don't cheat, make sure you manage your time and be organized, get involved in the activities and the opportunities that are outside of the classroom. And then last but not least, do not quit. Okay, have that no quit mentality. If you don't quit, you can't fail. As long as you keep going and you ask for help, we'll find a way to help you be successful. Okay. All right. Now, the key part of this is our current 9th graders, as we said. So we've talked enough. I want to jump to our current 9th graders. You have questions. We have answers. Since we can't have you ask them face to face, I'm going to ask them for you. But I'm going to go ahead and stop our screen share. I'm back to gallery view here. We are ready to rock this with some questions and answers. Is everybody ready? All right. So the first question that I had submitted is going to be the topic of lunch. How is the food at lunch? That's the question we got here for you. How is the food at lunch in high school?
It's definitely better than middle school. You have a lot more options to choose from, and it's just great food. I like it a lot.
Other experiences that you guys had about lunch and the food? Do some of you guys bring your own? What works well for you?
Not gonna lie, most days I probably got pizza. But some days I'd bring lunch, and I don't know, it was pretty chill. Like, no one really cared if you got hot lunch or brought your lunch. And it is kind of packed, honestly, but since I guess they're adding on, I'm excited to hear about that. But yeah, it's good food. Be nice to your lunch ladies. They're really nice to you. They actually, a lot of them are, people love our lunch ladies, and they will sometimes like remember your name and that sort of thing. So they're really personable, so get to know them. But yeah.
The next question had, do you get to eat lunch with your friends? So talk about lunch with your friends. I know Miss Segu mentioned it a little bit, but talk about your personal experience, and did you have somebody to eat lunch with, and how was your overall lunch experience? Not just the food now, but the friends and all that.
Yeah, so there is plenty of opportunities to eat lunch with different people and your friends. Obviously, as Miss Segi was saying, there are 2 different lunch periods, but there's so many people in each, you'll definitely find friends to sit with. And they're just really nice people that go to Papio South, and I can say that about you guys too. So you'll have no problem with finding a group and people you know, meeting new people to sit with.
So Mr. Grell, who you guys met earlier, he does our master schedule, and he works with Miss Segu, and we set it up so all of our freshmen are in just 2 lunches. So you may not have your best friend in lunch; they might get the opposite lunch of you. But I will tell you, I think you'll find friends to sit with, you know. So Caitlin and Paxton, anything else you guys want to add in about your lunch experience?
My lunch, I started off the year in 3rd lunch with my main group of friends, but I'm in freshman football advisory, and so there were too many of us, so we got moved to 4th lunch, and then I sat with my football friends. So it's easy to adapt between people because, yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
I was going to say like something pretty similar. If you have 3rd lunch first semester, but you have to like take a different activity or something next semester, your lunch could get changed, but you can always find new groups of people. They're always just such nice people, and yeah, it'll always be okay.
Awesome.
Any recommendations on that first half day of school, and how do you deal with the long lunch lines, and any recommendations on that? Do you want to sit there and just look at the food and go, do I want this thing or do I want this thing? Do you pretty much need to make a decision the first day pretty quickly?
Yeah.
When you're waiting, oh, go ahead, Gracie. Go ahead.
I think it's not a big deal what you get on the first day. So make your decision fast because there are a lot of kids. And it's also not a big deal who you sit with. Just find one friend and then try to sit kind of like anywhere pretty much. And that's another good opportunity to kind of meet new people from Liberty or from Papillion Middle School. So yeah.
I remember on my first day of school, I read on the app what was for lunch so that I knew what the choices were. And then I just knew what I was going to get.
All right, our next topic that got submitted was passing periods. How are the hallways? Are they crowded? How long are passing periods? Do you have enough time to get to your classes? Talk about those type of topics.
It like really depends on the hallway. Some hallways would be kind of crowded during passing periods. Others would be like almost empty, but the passing periods definitely have enough time. I know because a lot of my classes in between passing periods would be like the first class is downstairs and the next class is upstairs. So I was constantly going up and down. So you definitely have enough time. I was never late.
Yeah, you have enough time to get to your classes and talk to your friends, so don't super worry about that. But always give yourself enough time to get to your classes because sometimes the staircases can get really crowded.
Can someone explain about the bell system that we have, the warning, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we do have a warning bell, and I think, at least I know for sure, Papillion Middle School has one too. So that's a nice opportunity to kind of pace yourself if you need to get across the school really fast. But it's plenty of time. It is a bigger school, but in middle school, or at least Papillion, I know it was 4-minute passing periods, and in high school it's 5. So there's definitely plenty of time to get to your classes and to socialize as well. So.
Yeah, so 5-minute passing periods at Papio South. We're gonna get more area next year, but we're not going to change the passing periods at all. So sometimes with our incoming freshmen, if they have a class that's outside of the freshman wing, they're really gonna have to hustle. They'll get there, you'll have plenty of time, but you'll have to move. You won't be able to socialize as much. In those periods where you're staying in the freshman wing, you'll have more than enough time to get from point A to point B.
I do
All right,
want to
let's
offer,
go ahead,
if I
Miss.
may, I want to offer that if you struggle with getting from those outside classes to the freshman wing, all you have to do is ask someone to help you out. I would be happy to kind of guide you on, well, this might be a faster route. We'll actually walk through it if we need to. So reach out to the adults in your life to here at school, just to help you out with some of those things that might be a little bit of a challenge, especially with the getting to class on time. So.
Let's talk about lockers and backpacks. That's the next topic that was submitted to us. So the exact question was, do you have a locker partner? And then someone asked, can you carry a backpack? So let's talk about lockers and backpacks. Go for it, crew.
So you have, you're able to carry a backpack and you do have a locker partner. My experience with a locker was I didn't really use it. My locker was in what me and my friends call the hidden hallway. And so I never really, it took me like months to find it. I mean, I found it on the first day and then I couldn't find it for a while. So I never got to meet my locker partner, sadly. And I got to take some posters down off of it at the end of the school year. But yeah, some people do utilize their lockers. And I think especially if in your classes, your teachers always want you to have your textbooks, that would be really good. So you're not carrying it on your back every single day because those get heavy. But yeah, backpacks, most people carry their backpacks and that sort of thing. So yeah.
I was actually one that used my locker, not like a lot of people. It definitely kept me very organized. I think after every single period, I would go to my locker. And I would take, if I had classes that were downstairs, because my locker's upstairs, I would take all the books that I needed for my downstairs classes. And then when I go back up, I just put them back in. And I would definitely say that kept me very organized.
I kept all my textbooks in my backpack, and like I kept everything in my backpack. And a lot of people don't like doing that, and so some people like Hallie will put their textbooks in their locker and then go and get them. So that's totally fine.
Yep, whatever works for you is totally the option. Some breaking news for our current students, our 9th graders. You're gonna have the same lockers next year, so we're not gonna switch lockers. So Gracie, you're stuck in the hidden hallway. We might just keep you there for 4 years. I'm sure you appreciate that. Let's talk about cell phones. I had a question come in about how are teachers and how do cell phones work in high school? What's the phone policy like? What's the difference between middle school and high school with those cellular devices?
You'll hear the term professional courtesy a lot. And I usually just know that when that happens, that you just have to put your phone away. And it's like time to get down and start learning. And if they let you use your phone, I would say utilize it. But other than that, just keep it away.
It varies teacher to teacher, but most of them it's more individual in high school. There's more responsibility. So it obviously varies teacher to teacher, but you will get more opportunities to use it in free time or for class. But yeah, like Hallie was saying, you will get reminders to put it away if it's a distraction. But it's definitely more free than middle school.
One thing I'll add on to that is most classes you're able to listen to music in, but it like he said, it varies teacher to teacher. And then something else I wanted to point out is, yeah, I mean, for the most part, you're allowed to walk in the hallways with listening to music, but I don't recommend it, especially the first few months. And like if you don't know your way around school and that sort of thing, I don't recommend listening to music because you're just not aware of your surroundings and that sort of thing, and if people are trying to talk to you, you're not going to hear them.
Awesome. The next question we had come in was, are honors classes hard? So talk about the difficulty of classes, and you don't have to just comment on honors classes, just the classes that you took as freshmen. Comment on the difficulty level.
I took all honors, and I would say the most important thing is just keeping it planned throughout the day. Like have a schedule, like once you go home, what homework to do, and just prioritize, and you'll get everything done. And your teachers are going to be super helpful. So, yeah.
Yeah, like Paxton, I took all honors. I wouldn't say it's like difficult as long as you know how to manage your time. You just keep on top of like tracking your assignments, like knowing your due dates and stuff. If you need to have like your own planner or something, do that. Just find whatever works for you and you'll be fine.
My experience with honors classes, I took all honors, and so I'm not even sure what point of the school year. It was within the first few months. I still wasn't sure about taking all honors, so I met with Mr. Grell and Mr. Gehring, and I was set on not taking all honors anymore. I had it all planned out, but they really encouraged me to keep going with honors, and I am so glad that I took them, and I don't know why I was so scared for them in the first place. But they're manageable once you get used to it, and once you know what it's going to look like, it gets easier. And something else I'd say is with honors classes, you kind of have a new level of so people in honors classes, there's typically more in-depth discussions. So if that's something you enjoy, then honors classes will be great for you. And if you don't, then on-level classes are fine as well. And really both, you still have to manage your time. In on-level classes, you can't just not do your work.
Awesome. I love Gracie's point about the adults are here to help you. So if you run into any academic troubles, that's what we're here to do. So please do not hesitate to reach out, whether it be a teacher, whether it be a counselor, whether it be a principal. We're all here to help you. Hey, talk about how much homework you guys had. And I know it might differ from one of you to the next, but the question came up is, how much homework am I going to have?
I know for me, I kept like a planner of everything, and I actually had a little bit of homework. I would say more than most of my friends. I would definitely say utilize your time during class. That's a very big one. If they give you time to work on homework, get started right away, because you would rather have it all done before you go home. So.
Yeah, like Hallie, I didn't have that much homework because I remember someone told us at the beginning of freshman year, like, utilize your time. When the teachers give you time to work on homework, like those last 5 minutes of class, do it, and it'll really help in just like managing and knowing your homework. Because I never really had much trouble with like getting homework done, and I do a lot of dance outside of school, so I was able to manage those too. So it's definitely manageable to get like all your homework done and to do your activities.
I would say I usually had 3 or 4 classes of homework per day. Like around there, sometimes it would vary, and you'd have 1 or you'd have 5. It just all depended on the day.
It's definitely a manageable amount though, and it varies person to person. But as they were saying, if you manage your time wisely, like I utilized extra class time and Titan time. I personally didn't have a study hall, but most days I only had a little bit of math or a little bit of English. So if you use your time wisely, you can definitely have the mindset to get it done. So
Something I want to add is if you feel like you there's whatever reason you can't get all of your homework done, if you have something that's getting in the way outside of school, just talk to your teachers. I'm sure you could work something out. They're really understanding and that sort of thing. So yeah, just communicate.
All right, the next question that was submitted is, are the teachers mean? So talk about your teachers' demeanors, talk about the relationships with your teachers, talk about your experience with them. And you can give your honest answer here.
I loved all of my teachers this year. They were probably some of my favorites ever. I mean, Mr. McCaw has a big stick, but don't get scared of it. It's okay. It's totally fine. Um, I loved all my teachers. They are so supportive of you, and you can talk to them about anything.
Yeah, your teachers will joke with you and stuff, but that's honestly really funny. And all of them are super nice and they just want to help you out. So don't be scared of your teachers.
So I was on Team Prometheus, and I feel like the sophomores, so the class ahead of me, kind of dished on Prometheus a little bit, and I didn't have very high expectations, honestly. But and originally I didn't really think my teachers liked me that much. So I don't know how much I like them, but at this point I miss my teachers so much. I have gone to 7 schools, something like that, and these are honestly the best teachers I've had. They're easily the most personable, and they really want to see you do well. And they're not scary. I mean, maybe in the first few weeks when you don't really know them, but as long as you're respectful and that sort of thing, then you're going to be having a great year.
Can I ask a question? Have any of you had a situation where you were doing homework at night and you're like, I don't understand this? How do you go about asking your teachers for help, or how do you deal with that? Or how have you dealt with that?
A lot of the time, I always email my teacher that night, and then I ask them if I can come in that next morning, and they are always say, yeah, that's fine. I go in at this time, and then I just get it done then.
I would say the same thing as Hallie. But if it's like late at night, typically your teachers won't answer their emails. So I would try to always, like, whenever I had a question, I'd make sure I sent it before 5. Because that's when my teachers said they would typically answer their emails.
And don't be afraid or embarrassed to ask them for help, because their job, and they want to help you. Their job is to help you here at the high school. So
We had a question submitted about driving to school. Does anybody drive to school their freshman year? Did anybody venture on the road by themselves?
Yeah, so I drove to school. It was really interesting. I'd say if you're going to be driving to school, just kind of know what you're doing, but I think the more you understand what you're doing, the less of likely you are to have a bad experience. And also, lucky for you guys, if you're driving to school, I've heard that the parking lot is getting worked on, so you won't have to deal with as many holes and that sort of thing. Yeah, I know I know a concern for me, at least, was people would tell me that, like, oh, people park in the same exact spot. You have to have your parking spot. You can't be taking people's parking spots. But it really wasn't that big of a deal. And if you have to change your parking spot, because if you do different activities like I did, it's really not that big of a deal. And if you're going to be driving your freshman year, I would suggest maybe getting there earlier so you can avoid that sort of thing. And there's plenty of parking spots available.
We don't have like a freshman lot or anything. It's not like that we make freshmen park far away or anything like that. At least I've never heard of anybody getting pushed far away because they're a freshman or anything like that. Our parking lot is pretty full though, and a lot of people use the football lot as a place to park. But there will be plenty of parking for all students. So, but the advice to arrive early is always good advice. And speaking of arriving early, we've had some questions come in about the before school experience, about where you go and what do you do. Maybe talk about that time before school, maybe how early you arrived and what it was like for you before the school day started.
I like, oh, sorry, Hallie, you can go.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I like to get to school around 7:40, so I would have like 5 minutes of that time in the cafeteria. But it's okay if sometimes you walk in the doors at 7:50, because then you still have 10 minutes to get to class and talk to your friends.
I would say that sometimes I am a little slow getting out the door, but I would get there on time even if I was running a little late. So.
Anything else you guys want to share about the morning time? You get 15 minutes. So when the bell rings, you get 15 minutes before your first class. So that's time to go visit the locker room and drop off your PE clothes. That's time to go around and give Paxton an elbow 5 next year, or it's your 15 minutes to get ready to go for the school day. To check out what kind of jams Miss Prusha has going, whether it's Paula Abdul or Boys to Men. You just never know. So you get 15 minutes.
My style, Mr. Silker. Thank you.
You get 15 minutes to hang out, work the hallways, and then we start the school day right at 8. So I had a question come in about technology plan for next year. We know we're going to add more devices. We're really excited about that. We're going to be adding more devices. Right now, we were at a 3-to-1 ratio where we had 3 students for every 1 computer in the school. We're hoping to continue to add more and more devices so that we have more access for our students. We're also hoping that if we go into a situation like we're in right now, if we have to go to that situation again, that we'd be able to provide a greater availability of devices for our students. We really want to make sure that we're in a better position next year than we were this year. So I had some questions come in about what's the technology plan. Know that we're working hard on that. Know that it's a priority for us. Were we as well prepared as we could have been this year? No, but I don't think anybody could have predicted a pandemic. I always say at the beginning of the year, you never know what's going to happen during a school year, and this would have been one that was completely off everybody's radar. So now that we have a little bit of time this summer, I'm here today at the school, and that's what we're doing. We're preparing. We use the phrase "win the wait." We're trying to do everything we can so that next fall we're in the best situation possible for our students. Talk about finding your way around. That was another question that came up. So we're gonna have just a few more minutes here, and then we'll wrap up. But I had several students talk about how hard is it to find your way around. We have that question, and then we got to talk about those upperclassmen too. So talk about finding your way around, crew.
So for me, it took me a few days, maybe a week, to get used to my classes and having to go up and down the stairs. And I won't lie, it took me probably a few months to get a good idea of the school. It is pretty big, but if you're ever struggling to get somewhere, there's security. I've asked security where to go, and I've asked random people as well. Everyone's really nice about it. But yeah, it's better to ask instead of just wandering the halls.
A couple tips that I use that really helps me get my way around is, it was said earlier, but make sure on the check-in just to go class to class and look for your classes and just get used to the schedule you're going to follow. Also, on your phone, it's also helpful if you don't want to carry your schedule around. If you want to make your schedule a wallpaper, that's also something I did, and that really helps me find my way around. And just another helpful tip I found across the years to help find your way around. If you see brick, you know you're in one of the corners, and that's helped me a lot to get to find stairs or anything. So
Yeah, to add on to that, also with like, for me, I had to find like a buddy that I knew was going to the next class, find them in the hall, and that was usually really helpful because it took me a while to get the like layout of the school. I walked my schedule several times before and still managed to get lost on the first day. But if you ask, I had to ask a couple random people like, "Hey, where is this class?" And they were always nice and willing to help. So don't be afraid to ask complete strangers or a security guard or even teachers standing in the hallway will be helpful.
And to answer the upperclassmen question, they're not mean. I mean, sometimes they'll joke with you, but it's always in a fun way. And they've been where you've been, so they know if you need help, they'll help you out. And yeah, they're all really nice.
To add on to Paxton, I would definitely say do not stand in the middle of the hallway, like when you're talking with your friends. They will ask you to move or they will run you over. So do not stand in the middle of the hallway.
the only thing you need
Go ahead, Zach. No, go
the
ahead.
only thing you need to worry about with upperclassmen is you will be called freshies or froshes or something like that, and you will be booed at pep rallies. Besides that, that's just a tradition, just jokes. It's not a big deal. They're kind and understanding people who were once in your shoes. So yeah, it's completely fine.
Ms. Prussia, no crying if they get booed at the pep rallies. I'm worried about you in that setting.
Sensitive. It might happen. I might have to defend my freshman.
I had a question come in about driver's ed. We do offer driver's ed through the school. We have some outside companies that we work with. So if you're ever interested in driver's ed, you just stop by the guidance office and they run some different sessions. They run some sessions in the summer. This summer, obviously, that looks a little bit different. I don't know exactly how they're handling that. But I know we run some sessions throughout the school year. So if you're ever curious about driver's ed, we had a question come in about that. Just stop by the guidance office, and Miss Maybe is our guidance secretary, and she can help with that. And that guidance office is right in the main office area. I had a couple questions about PE. Talk about your experience, guys, with PE.
I took weights my first semester, and that is a really great class. I recommend that a lot. And then I also took intro to PE my second semester, and obviously we had the going out of school and stuff, so that's been okay doing all of that. I would say my mentality was to just get my PEs all done, so then I don't have to be in a class where I'm an upperclassman and I have to have a class where I'm with a lot of lowerclassmen. So I say just get them out of the way.
Are there uniforms, or what do you wear? Could you address that?
I just wore like shorts and a t-shirt, like plain stuff. There's no uniforms. Make sure you definitely dress appropriately. Make sure everything's the right length and everything. But
do you have to shower?
I didn't shower. My PE class was my second hour, so that was a little unfortunate that it was so early in the day. But I brought like wet wipes, and I would just like clean myself off, I guess.
A good thing to know is if you're in like a sport that's active that time of year, like in the fall if it's football or in the winter it's basketball, there's two different weight rooms or locker rooms. There's the athletic men's or women's, and then the PE men's and women's. So just make sure you don't mix that up. I've done that a few times, and yeah.
All right. You know what, guys? I think we covered all the topics that were submitted. So I know we probably didn't answer everybody's questions that are viewing this. And if you have further questions, don't hesitate to reach out to Ms. Segu, myself, Ms. Prusha. I want to thank our panel. We just lost Gracie, but Gracie was awesome member of the panel. Paxton, Zach, Caitlin, Hallie, we thank you guys so much. And I mean, I just can't say thank you enough. I know an hour-long Zoom is exhausting, but you guys were great panel, a lot of great insight. We miss having you guys here at Papio South. We can't wait to see you back here in our hallways and here in our building. And it's going to be an awesome experience for you guys next year also as sophomores. So thanks for your time. Ms. Prusha, Ms. Segu, thanks to you guys. You guys are going to be an awesome team with our ninth graders next year. I get as excited about the people as I do the facility. You guys are going to be awesome. To the Prusha twins, you guys were awesome on this Zoom. Well behaved. You guys rocked it. Take good care of mom today. Enjoy your Friday. Ms. Segu, Ms. Prusha, anybody have any parting words?
I don't. I'm just super excited. I guess I do have a couple. To work with you all this summer. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, if you need anything from Ms. Segu or I. And this one here was really excited to see all the kids on the Zoom. She kept on pointing to you. What's her name? What's his name? So she got to know some of the Titans, and she really wanted to say something. What do you want to say to them? Are you going to be shy now? What were you going to say to them? The whole time on the Zoom call, she kept on saying, "Go Titans, go Titans." Now she's on the spot and she won't do it. So tell them bye. Can you at least tell them bye? No. Okay. Now she's on the spot. She's going to be shy. Miss Segu, anything?
No, just really excited. And if you have questions, don't hesitate reaching out. Just stay healthy and safe. That's all I can say. We want to see you in August.
Yeah, 100%. Current Titans, future Titans, stay healthy, stay safe, take care of yourselves. Me and Miss Prusha are going to do kind of a video. Miss Segu, we're going to join you with some video shout outs during the summer. So this won't be the last time you see us before August. We'll keep those future Titans updated, trying to keep everybody engaged. Once again, we're planning to be ready to go in August. Obviously, we might have some additional safety and some health considerations that we put into place to keep everybody safe and healthy when they're in our building. But we're just extremely excited for the future. The future is bright. There's just a ton of hope. So we can't wait to see everybody. We're gonna let Gracie back in to say goodbye. Gracie, we're signing off right now. Are you ready to wave goodbye to everybody? We'll see if we get her here in a second. Well, we thank Gracie, we thank Hallie, Caitlin, Paxton, and Zach. Thanks, Ms. Prusha, Ms. Segu. A great time this morning. I thank everybody for joining us. Go Titans.